throughout the conference. And when we look at the best director, I am so impressed with what Eric Revenot has done with his young Portland team. Very impressive. Leading player, John Bryant, he's overlooked so often, but no doubt, I believe second in the nation right now in rebounding. He's such just a consistent player throughout. Supporting player, I think Stephen Gray right here. What a spark to have coming off your bench. He'd be a starter on so many other teams. Best role in the sequel, Tom Asbury. Hey, that's a big plus coming back.
And maybe that the game of the year so far in the West Coast Conference, St. Mary's, Santa Clara.
No doubt about it. If Patty Mills hitting a last-second shot, they won that one by 1. It looked like Santa Clara was going to beat them on their home court, and instead, Patty Mills with the big bucket.
Keon Bell now with 15 points, drops in the free throw. Misses the second. Stephen Gray with the rebound. You can see some of the potential that Pepperdine has over the next few years with players like Michael Thompson and Keon Bell. It'll be important, as Coach Asbury was talking to us, it'll be important for them to find that big, strong post player to get the ball in so they can kick out the open shooter.
Yeah, never easy to find that kind of player.
It isn't.
It's so difficult to find the caliber of player that one can make the grades at your program. And then, you know, you're competing against all these other West Coast Conference teams, but he's found one in Keon Bell.
He certainly has. And here you see him defend, strip the ball, and then the great finish at the other end.
Well, I think the zone defense has been a little more effective for them here tonight. We haven't seen much of it, but I've been a little more impressed with it a couple of plays now in a row.
6 turnovers now by Gonzaga. That's 2 in a row. Bolden with a deflection, but out of bounds. And it will stay with Pepperdine. For up-to-the-minute news for everything that is college sports, log on to ESPNU.com. If you don't have ESPNU, be sure to log on to ESPNU.com and type in your zip code at the top of the page or call your local cable operator or satellite provider. Log on to ESPNU.com today. And Bell now with it again on the offensive end. Left hand up, no good. Got it back, missed it again. Tipped around. Dimitri Goodson, number 3, with a rebound for Gonzaga.
Athleticism by Keon Bell, though, just trying to tip it, keep it alive, not afraid to take it into much bigger defenders.
Austin Day. He doesn't need those. He doesn't need the ankle to shoot, does he?
No, he apparently not. Apparently not. A little fadeaway there on the baseline.
And let's give Austin some credit. He's showing some toughness. That was not a very good-looking injury.
No.
Bell drives to the middle. They call the charge. No basket. And Bell picks up his second. That's 3 on Pepperdine this half. And Josh Heitfeld and Micah Downs back into the game, and Heitfeld on the verge of his best game ever.
Just 1 point away from tying that career high of 27, 26 here tonight. Kind of wondered if he'd make it back into this game or not with this lead, but I think if you're Mark Few, you got to keep working your rotations, keep working the things that have gotten to this point. Heitfeld, 87 career games here at Gonzaga. And his top 3 scoring performances have been against, guess who? The Pepperdine Waves. 27, 26 tonight, now 25 before as well.
Gonzaga basketball off the Holmes miss. Rico Tucker checking in. Bell goes to the bench. And Hornbuckle in as well. Well, if you're Mark Few, you've got a huge lead. You're about to win another regular season title. What in the world do you want to see over the next 9 minutes and 30 seconds? No more injuries, I would imagine.
Well, you know, and he wants them to clean things up. You've got to work on the little things because, yeah, you might be getting away with this or that against this Pepperdine team here tonight, but you're not going to do that against a St. Mary's, against a San Diego in the tournament, maybe a Portland in the tournament. You're definitely not going to do it in the NCAA tournament.
The one thing he will be happy about is watching his players crash the boards like that. They didn't come out of there with the ball, but they were certainly there. And the travel there by Jonathan Dupree, a sophomore out of Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I talked to Mark Few at their practice today and, you know, just asked him, hey, things seem to be going okay, but are there any concerns? He's like, there's always concerns. I'm a coach. There's always something to be concerned about. But and he said that's the thing. He probably doesn't give his team enough credit for having the kind of success that they've had so far.
How about the lob from Goodson to Downs?
Oh, that's what keeps this crowd coming.
That's why they're all still here, frankly.
That's right. That's a fun team to watch. It really is. A really impressive balance.
Now, right now, this crowd is here at a NASCAR event hoping to see a crash, or if they're at a hockey game hoping to see a fight. They're here to see dunks like that now.
That's right. It's an award-winning weekend.
It
Definitely
is.
for the Zags anyway.
It certainly is. And you know, if, and it's a big if because they've got a very difficult road trip ahead of them. But if they can remain unbeaten and get to 14-0 in league play this year, it'll be the third time in 6 years that they've run the table in the regular season. That's a remarkable number.
They definitely, it's a goal of theirs. They want to accomplish it. They don't want to look too far ahead, though. They know that anything can happen. They still have to go out on the road. But if they could finish 14-0, they did it in 04 and 06. And there hadn't been another team that had done it since Pepperdine and Tom Asbury's team back in '92. It doesn't happen that often. It's not easy to do, no doubt. But they will still have to go out on the road. After this game, they will play Santa Clara and San Diego on the road. That's how they're going to have to finish their play.
That last foul on Micah Downs, his first at 3 on Gonzaga, and Dupree drops in the first. And Gonzaga now has won 20 of their last 21, including tonight.
Jonathan Dupree, the transfer from Collin County Community College, and a nice pickup for this team. He was out with a sprained ankle earlier in the season, but they got him back. Watching him in practice and watching some of the things he did earlier in the game, I'm impressed with his athleticism. I think he's got some potential.
And you hope that he grows into that body.
Well,
right? You hope that athletically he just grows and grows over the next 3-4 years.
Well, speaking of growing, he grew 10 inches his senior season. That was the only year he played varsity ball because he was not, as they have him listed at 6'8" now. He grew 10 inches, and lucky for him, he was able to do it proportionally enough that it wasn't a hindrance to him.
Hornbuckle hits the 3, but on the other end, it was Josh Heitfeld in a new career high. Now at 28, down for 3. Heitfeld tipped back. Almost got 2 more, tipped around, able to find the handle, and now stave off 3 Portland or Pepperdine Waves and get the shot away.
He wanted the foul call. Extra work for Heitfeld as he cut across the lane to keep it alive.
Tucker loses the ball out of bounds. Gonzaga up big, and Micah Downs with 10 points, but none bigger than this. Dimitri Goodson. The perfect lob and the great finish by Downs. Gonzaga on their way to another league championship. Tom Asbury was the head coach at Pepperdine the first go-around between 1989 and 94. He finished no worse than second place in the league. He won 3 regular season West Coast Conference titles. He had a perfect regular season in 92, but look at what Gonzaga has done.
Well, and you know, it's interesting that gap, though, that time frame where Pepperdine was so dominant back in, early, almost mid